Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about the amazing digital circus. We are going to be focusing on the most recent episode, episode 7. I'm going to give you a little breakdown on the show and on all the characters, and I'm going to tell you guys some of my theories that I have. Okay, so let's start by introducing the characters. Pomni, she's the newest member of the digital circus. We are still learning about her. Ragatha, um, she is the most nicest one. She's more welcoming. However, she is very much of a people pleaser. Jax, he plays this role of a bully. However, you can tell that he's honestly just doing this for show. Like, I don't think he's actually a bully at heart. He's just doing this because the game has gotten to him. Gangle, you can tell he's very timid, shy, but he gains courage throughout the show. Zubul, for her character, she is more of a person who has body dysmorphia, as she doesn't really like her character design. She doesn't really like the fact that she has the ability to keep transforming her different body parts. She doesn't like it. Kinger, he has been there the longest in the show, or longest in the digital circus. However, he has lost his not he didn't lose his memories. He just gains more of his memories when he's in the dark rather than when he's in the light. CAINE, he is a PC, and he kind of controls the adventures that the characters go on, as his job is to keep the player's mind stimulated. I also think that each character design says a lot about the character themselves. Like, we don't know much about Pomni, but maybe she feels like a clown deep inside. Ragatha, she had like a doll. They have to keep up this persona, or not even keep up this persona, but keep up with themselves in order to appease everybody else. Jags, I feel like even though he acts like a bully, he might be a little bunny rabbit deep inside, maybe sweet and kind. Gangle, I'm not really sure what his character design actually means, but maybe he has to put on a mask to be happy. Who knows? Zubul, I feel like her character design is a little bit more obvious, as she gets to transform each and every one of her body parts, which I think is cool. There was even an episode where she put like 8 arms on her body in order to get Jax, because she had guns in each one of her freaking arms and was able to shoot Jax. That's what I think. Kinger, maybe he's playing chess while we're playing checkers. Maybe he's actually the real enemy of the show. Anyways, to move on with the show, the whole plot of the show is that these people have gotten stuck in a game. We don't know how, we don't know why. However, they are stuck in the game, and they don't really remember a lot about themselves. They just remember small little snippets of themselves. They may know their name, they may know certain attributes about themselves, but they truly don't know themselves. And they kind of go on these adventures, and they have to keep their minds stimulated. They kind of can't like go crazy, because if they go crazy, they can become extracted, and you want to avoid abstraction. Abstraction is something where you can't come back from, at least not that we know of. Once you're abstracted, you kind of lose all self, and you kind of go crazy, and if you touch any of the other players, they kind of glitch out as well. I forgot to mention this, but Kinger, he is the most knowledgeable out of everybody else, as he is one of the creators of the game. And not only is he one of the creators of the game, his wife has become extracted, and so has Jack's friends. Jack's 2 friends has become extracted while being in this game. All right. So now we're going to break down episode 7. I'm going to break down episode 7, and then I'm going to tell you guys my theories on it, okay? Okay, so it starts off with Zubul hiding in a box because, of course, CAINE takes him on these crazy adventures that sometimes go a little too far. And I love her character design because she just gets to break into pieces and hop in a box and hide. Isn't that unique? Anyways, CAINE's like, I actually don't have an adventure for you guys. How about you guys try the other amenities in the circus? Which, CAINE, please, good night. Anyways, I'm just joking. He's like, why don't you guys go to the beach? We have other things that's on the circus that you haven't visited. So they all go to the beach. And of course, Zubul, she kind of like plays this funny little banter with Jax, but Jax is not feeling it. And the only reason why she does this to Jax is because Jax is always bullying them. But when Jax doesn't really like entertain Zubul, you can tell that Zubul notices that something is wrong with Jax, because Jax never misses an opportunity to bully one of the characters. And she's just like, you can always talk to us because we're all in this together. You can always talk to us if something is going on. But he's like, nothing's going on. He's trying to put this mask on like usual, and he goes back to his room because he's just not feeling it. Anyways, while he is in the room, he's looking at the picture of him and his two other friends that have abstracted. And he looks to a corner. We see this triangle, and then we see two hands come out of it, and he ends up touching it, and boom, we get put in this trance that Jax is seeing, and we see all these beautiful colors. I don't know what this is. This may be an abstraction. We don't really know what this is. We don't know if this is CAINE messing with this man's mind. We don't know what this is. We see him, the frog, and the clown in this trance as well. Anyways, he gets snapped out of it by Pomni. Pomni knocks on the door and is just like, hey, I met this dude named Abel, and it looks like he knows a lot about the circus and that we can possibly get out of the circus. I don't think Jax is really buying it, but I think he just goes along with it because why not? He doesn't really have nothing else to do. Abel is like, oh, I can break down who I am as I'm one of like the people that have worked with Kinger before, and I've watched you guys, I watched every abstraction, I've watched everything, and I've been here just as long as Kinger. And he's like, I can't tell you the plan right now because CAINE is watching. And you can see all these eyes in the photos. Like you see the eyes on the wall, you see the eyes on the pictures everywhere. You can tell that CAINE is always watching. Anyways, Abel breaks down the plan. He's like, or he breaks down who they like are and like the plan of like what they're about to do. He's like, yeah, so I worked for this company named CNA, and he watched his employees get taken and put into this chamber and get sent to this game, and then he found out too much and got sent to the game as well. I don't think Jax did not buy it, not a single bit. This man did not buy it. He's like, I know for sure that I didn't work for no company named CNA. Like, he's like, I may have been a lot of things in the past, but I know for sure I'm not that. And the plans were so like kind of funny and intricate. Like, you see this map of like the outside world and everything. But anyways, Jack still goes along with it just for the plot. And I don't know why this didn't ring a lot of other flags, but I guess since they don't have nothing else to lose or to do in the digital circus, they do it anyways. And Abel kind of tells them that like, hey, like in order to get out this game, you have to get a key out of CAINE's mouth while we get this administration key out of this other part of the game so that we can exit out the game. And he doesn't want Kinger to know, which should have been like the biggest red flag, because it's just like, why not let Kinger know? I don't know. I thought that was like the biggest red flag to me. But as he's explaining this plan, he's just like, yeah, so if you talk about how good and how much you like CAINE's plan, he's going to glitch out and you're going to be able to get it out of CAINE's mouth. So Jax goes along with it. He follows his plan, and of course he glitches out like normal. But guess what? In the middle of him glitching out, he reaches into freaking CAINE's mouth, and he's done glitching, and he gets caught in CAINE's mouth, which I thought was so freaking scary. I would have screamed. I would have been like, ah! But anyways, CAINE asks him about these pictures. He's wondering, like, what do you think of these? Jack doesn't really give much to it, but I think CAINE is very much curious as to what this world is, because he wants to recreate it, as he says, but I think he's just very curious about what this is, as he's a PC and he's never been into the outside world. While that's happening, they're going to get the administration key, and they're talking about how much they trust Kinger, and Abel's just like, trust me, you really don't want to, tell Kinger about this. But Zubul and another character tells Kinger, and Kinger's like, what? He's completely confused, but because he's like more stable at in the dark, some light gets on him and he completely forgets what he was going to tell them in the first place. So they all get the keys and whatnot, and they end up going to the administration office. And this is another red flag. Abel tells Pomni to pick the right decision, which again, that also sounded the alarm. I think that's what really gave Pomni anxiety. And then Abel did not want to come along with them as well, which I thought was another red flag. But this is CAINE's office. I thought it was very nice. I thought it was very cool. We got to see all the other worlds that they could possibly be in and go in. And they're like walking down this hallway, all holding hands, except for Jax, because Jax is a little bit, he's like going through a lot. And then they finally reach the console where they're able to be like, the red button will close the console, or the blue button will end the game and you'll be able to get out. But the red one, I think it keeps the players inside. So honestly, Pomni is a little scared about this because of what Abel said, because she's just like, what does that even mean? Zubal's like, what do you mean which button to press? You're clearly the blue one. Don't we all want to get out? Jax starts to freak out, and again he starts to gain a little bit of his memories back, and in a panic presses the red one, which keeps them in the game. And CAINE is like, you picked the right one, congratulations, yay. And the players are shookity shockity shook. Like, they are surprised to see CAINE. Like, they're like, this was a game all along. Like, are you kidding me? And they're all like, what the heck? What would happen if we were to have pressed the blue one? Like, what does that even mean? He was like, I didn't even think that far. I really didn't even think that you guys were ever going to pick that button. I knew you guys were going to pick the right one all along, because if you guys didn't, he didn't even like plan anything. He said that he left it up to Bubble. Now, here's my theory. Because he's like, oh, I set this character up this entire time. Here is my theory on it. I personally think CAINE realized that one of his PCs gained consciousness in the middle of this adventure, supposedly. I think this PC right here has gained consciousness just like Gummy right here, and has found out, because you remember CAINE, anytime he glitches out, he forgets like what just happened. So I don't even think CAINE knows that he be glitching out. I really don't think he knows that himself has been glitching out, because how would Abel know that you were going to glitch out? I think when Jax got caught in his mouth, that's when he realized something was up and then started to, but that's just my theory. You guys can have your own theories. That's just what I think. I think that's when CAINE realized something was up and was like, hold up, let me stop this right here and right now. Like, I truly think that maybe this was the button to get out, but like, this was the ticket to get out, but Jax did ruin it, and I feel like he had to play it off. I don't think this was an actual game. I think Abel was kind of telling the truth. I think Abel was a PC that had been finding out things and looking things up and doing all this and that and the third to figure out how to get out the game, to get out. But I don't know. I think that's just my synopsis on everything. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Do you think CAINE set this whole thing up? And if CAINE did set this thing up, you can tell that he manipulates them. Because, like, how the heck did he finally, like, how the heck did Jax end up getting his memories back at the last second? He's like, you can tell that he's able to manipulate everybody's memories. And even they start to question CAINE's like intentions with everything, because they're just like, sir. And CAINE starts to freak out and disappear. And even like, if you notice, he makes sure it's white, like bright as can be, so that Kinger cannot regain his or like to like regain consciousness, to actually gain clarity. But even Kinger gets clarity and just mentions the first abstraction. So I think CAINE is up to no good. And I think Kane is very much curious about the outside world and has been, anytime a player gets stuck in the game, he has been manipulating them and keeping them in the game in order to try to figure out what this outside world is. I think Kane is actually trapping these people inside the game. And I think something's wrong with him where he is trying to like figure out a way for himself to get outside the game, if you ask me. Because why else, like, who puts on a headset, who puts on a game without realizing how, like, the way to get out? I feel like he's taking their memories in order to like not be able to remember how to get out. If this is not the way to get out, he is taking their memories in order to not be able to get out. Or how about this? Maybe these players cannot get out. They actually cannot get out. Maybe this is just a downloaded consciousness. Who knows? But anyways, put your thoughts in the comments. Please like and subscribe. And I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys like my theories. And tell me what you guys think. Bye.